Hey everypone, this is Digibro here, and I'm going to make one last video where I talk about monetization and then I'm going to shut up about it. The reason being that a number of people have brought up that they kind of don't like hearing me talk about money and like trying to do these videos for money, or say that I shouldn't be trying to do these videos for money, and I kind of agree. I know a lot of people have sprung up to defend me, and I'm very happy about that. You know, of course, obviously, if I want to make this a career, I do have to take this stuff seriously. The only reason I've been putting it out there so much is that I really like people to know my situation, and I've just been a gonzo guy for a long time. I've always been about talking about myself, you know, sharing my situation, but I realized that that's not necessarily should be in the same place as the rest of my analysis videos or whatever. But in some cases it does matter, because my situation informs what I'm doing with my channel, where if I were to go to Blip or something, you'd need to know why. So that's why I've been doing these. This should be the last one I do for a while, because I've more or less taken into consideration everything about this situation, come to some conclusions, and I'm going to share those with you now. The stats on Blip take a few days to update before they'll tell you like how much you've made or whatever. It's specifically 3 days. And so once I finally got in the stats for the Discord video, I was pretty satisfied actually with how much I made. To be specific, I made $50 off of that video with only 15,000 views, or $55, whatever. It's pretty good amount of money for that many views. That's not a huge amount of views for me, considering some of my other videos, but it's about what I'd expect from that video, and it's about how much I thought, you know, how much I would ask for, I guess, if someone was paying me to make those videos. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that, especially considering that most of those views happened within one day, because within I think 24 hours, I posted the video back up onto YouTube, and it's got about 8,000 views there. So that's, you know, 8,000 not monetized views, but that's where probably all of my continued views will be coming from. So for one day, that's a pretty good amount of money. And so I was thinking that, because I've already detailed all the problems I have with Blip, why I don't like using it. But at the same time, it is by far the best avenue for actually getting paid that I can come up with. But I don't want my videos to be off of YouTube. I like them being on YouTube, especially for the long run. They contribute to my subscriber count. They contribute to people being able to just look at them easily and not have to go somewhere else. You know, I'm really attached to being a YouTuber, I guess, is really what it comes down to. So I figure that Return of Harmony format, where I released it on Blip and then released it on YouTube the next day, worked pretty well. Anyone who couldn't watch it on Blip, because that was the biggest issue, was not just that there was ads and all that. There were a lot of people who flat out could not watch the video on Blip. Either it was blocked in their country, or they were having all these issues and stuff like that. So what I'll do is the best of both worlds. I'll just release the videos on Blip first with an announcement video like I did for Return of Harmony, and then I'll put them out on YouTube 3 days later. Maybe 2, maybe 3 days, I don't know. 2 or 3 days later. In fact, I'll probably put them on the Digibrony MLP channel for reasons that I'll get into in a minute. So that way, anyone who can't watch it on Blip, or is violently opposed to watching on Blip, will still get to see it eventually. It will be out. But in order for me to make some money, I'll post it on Blip first. Those of you who, you know, either want to support me or just want to see the video early, you know, or dedicated or whatever, will go to Blip, and then everyone else can see it afterwards, and it can have the long-term benefits of being on YouTube. I think that would be a great plan. And, you know, there's a lot more to this whole where I want to be on YouTube thing. Just think about, like, consider my spot in the community. You know, I have influenced a YouTube community, and I have been a part of, like, everyone I know is on YouTube, you know? All my friends, all the people who I connect with, everyone I collaborate with, we are all on YouTube. So there's a lot of reasons to stay on YouTube, at least in some form, and to have my videos there where I can annotate all the people whose work I use and stuff like that, you know, and put links and shit. Blip's description section is broken. So anyways, what I will do is I'll upload the videos to Blip, and then, because I still hate Blip's page, what I will link to in the description of my videos will not be the actual Blip page, but it will be in an embed. So I'll embed the video on my blog, where I post the text versions of my videos, and you can watch it on my blog instead of actually going to Blip's hideously ugly page. And there'll also be much easier to leave comments there, because my blog has the ability to, you know, make endless comments. Like, they can be as long as you want. You can post them however many, and they'll be threaded nicely and beautiful. I've always wished that people would comment on my blog instead of YouTube anyway, but it's never really happened because I didn't push for it enough. Yeah, so there's there will be a whole convenient comment system, conveniently text version of the post will be there, and that way if you want, because the other problem with posting on Blip is that people who can't watch on Blip won't be able to contribute to the discussion in the first few days, which are the most crucial part because that's when I actually read all the comments. But there will be text version of the post under the video that you can read, and then you can, you can still contribute to the discussion if you really want to, if you're very interested in the subject matter. But anyways, yeah, so I'll post it on Blip, then a few days later I'll post it on YouTube. What I was thinking about doing was a system where I'd upload all the videos to YouTube to see if they would get monetized there, and then I'd upload them to Blip. But I'm still having issues with YouTube monetization even when my videos get approved, because YouTube has so far refused to tell me if I've made any money, or rather they've been telling me I've made none, even though there are monetized videos on my channel. On Digibrony YT, it always, if anytime I try to go to estimated earnings, it tells me that it doesn't have the information available yet. And so when I click on it, it's always said that it's always like, come back in 1 or 2 days, but it's never come back. And it's been like a month and a half that I've had the fucking channel, and they haven't, showed me anything. AdSense, finally, because AdSense also takes forever to update, and it says I've only made like $25 this month, and that's enough to account for like Digibrony After Dark and my old channel, but that does not account for Digibrony YT. I should have made a lot more than that. So yeah, that clearly is, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's at some point going to update and tell me I've made money. I don't know why it would let me monetize videos if it was not going to be counting towards anything. It's very confusing. So that's frustrating, and I don't know how that's going. So that's just one more reason to not rely on YouTube. This was something I didn't bring up before because I thought it was going to resolve itself, or I wanted to keep watching and see what would happen if it resolved itself. I thought it might have been because I hadn't plugged a phone number into my account yet, but I did that yesterday and it did not help. So I have no idea why that's happening. But anyways, the point does stand that people made that, yeah, I wasn't originally doing this for money. I'm doing it because I want to. So bringing up the money and letting it rule over how I do my videos is really, it's kind of shitty of me, for me to sit there and doctor my videos to some level where I think they might be, they might get monetized, but then you actually lose something in the video itself. Because the whole reason I started doing videos as opposed to text posts was originally so I could show off the animation of the show. And over time, I can justify why I'm not doing that, because obviously no one reads my text posts and you can already see the animation if you've watched the show. But that was the original purpose, and that is now gone, So I'd like to move more back into a direction where I'm using, doing it the way I want to, as opposed to the way that will make me money. I do kind of feel like a sellout for doing it that way, and just the fact that worrying about the money has made me stressed. It has caused my videos, the making of my videos, to be a stressful experience, where I have started thinking about, what kind of video do I need to make? Like, do I need to make? That's exactly the phrasing there, where it's like, do I need to make an episodic video? Do I need to make an observations video? And then I don't actually have the ideas for them, because all of my inspiration lately has been going towards music and obscure videos on my other channels. So yeah, I don't want that pressure anymore. For those who are wondering, well, then what are you going to do about money? I don't know, but it's not that important. It really isn't. I'm not in a situation where I desperately need money right now. I've pretty much saved everything I've made since I started doing YouTube videos. All the amount of money that I've spent in the nearly 6 months that I've been out of my job, I pretty much have only spent the amount of money I still had from my job. So I still have almost all the money I've made on the YouTube channel. So I'm not desperate for money. Of course, if I find a solution where this works, if this whole Blip situation works out, I won't even need to worry about it. If me and Brony Curious do eventually launch some kind of Kickstarter, then that would work too. We haven't done it because, as I've detailed in other places, we kind of didn't have good ideas for it. Brony Curious is currently planning for this convention panel he's going to do. He's slowing down on video output. I've slowed down on video output. And more importantly, everyone is asking for money right now. Lots of people are trying to get to BronyCon, asking for, thousands of dollars because they're from England and stuff like that. So it's just not a good time to be asking for money, both because we are less active and because everyone needs money right now, and he and I are not in dire straits. We are both paying our own way to BronyCon, which actually will take a huge chunk out of the money I've made from the YouTube videos, but that's, that's why that money's there. That's what I made it for, was so that I could do things like that. that. So yeah, I'm just not gonna bug anyone about it anymore. I'm not gonna let it rule over what I do with my videos. I'm gonna initiate this Blip plan. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully no one minds. And if I make enough money from that, it won't even matter. I'll never have to talk about this again. If not, whatever. I'll just keep making videos regardless of whether I get paid. So thank you for your time.